Blog Talk Radio.
Spiritual food for thought. Get the word into your heart. Take advantage of this time. Spiritual food for your mind. Spiritual food, oh, for thought. Get the word into your heart. Take advantage of this time. Spiritual food for your mind. Spiritual food for thought. Spiritual food for thought. Spiritual food for thought.
Be engaged. Be empowered. Be inspired. With your girl, inspirational speaker, missionary Latanyha, on Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio.
Hey. That's right. It's your girl, your auntie, your sister, your friend, inspirational speaker, missionary Latanyha here. And I am, well, you know, I say it every show, super excited. We are going to have a fabulous time on this evening. So I want to welcome each and every one of you for tuning in. If you are streaming in live, we want you to go ahead and tweet. Let everyone know to tune into your favorite Christian station of Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio. And today's hashtag is Fab Book Club. Fab Book Club. We want to hear from you. You can also log on to our fan page of Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio on Facebook and join us there on our event page, as we're going to be chatting it up there as well. So today's segment is our author spotlight, a.k.a. the power of the pen. And so where we highlight and spotlight some gifted and prolific authors whose stories are told through the power of the pen. And I have such a dynamic guest here in our studio, looking fabulous. We were just speaking. She's in the green room. She's all ready to go and to empower, engage, and inspire our listeners on today to move and drive forward. So I'm super excited. None other than that literary lady, also known as Yolanda M. Johnson Bryant, who wears many hats. She's an author of women's fiction and women's nonfiction, freelance writer, columnist, editor, and ghostwriter. In addition, she is a literary, social media, marketing, and branding consultant, and we're going to be getting into that as well. I am so excited to have her here. She has published 4 novels, and she's currently going to be releasing her upcoming novel. We're going to get into that in a little bit. And before we do, let's go ahead and take a break while you go ahead and tweet your friends and family and let them know they need to tune into your favorite Christian station of Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio. Don't forget to use the hashtag of Fab Book Club. Today is being brought to you by Faith of Believers Virtual Book Club. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these messages.
Are you starting a new business, releasing a CD, writing a new book? Consider Mitchell Productions for your web design services. Visit www.mitchell-productions.com for portfolio samples, specials, and package prices. Remember, a website is not a luxury item. It's a necessity. Check out mitchell-productions.com or find them at facebook.com/Mitchell Productions.
Have you written a book, recorded a CD, started that business, and you're asking yourself, what happens now? Well, this is the time to let the world know that you exist. Faith of Believer is available to bring you out of obscurity and to the masses. Led by marketing mentor Latanyha Boyd, not only will your presence be elevated, but you will be mentored and taught to continue doing the work yourself. Connect with Faith of Believer today to be empowered and inspired to market your ministry by logging on to www.faithabeliever.com. Once again, that's www.faithabeliever.com.
Are you ready to go big with your business in 2014? If so, you must attend the biggest event for entrepreneurs, the Big Business Conference. Visit CharvetteGoesBig.com to register. Meet our 50-plus coaches and view our sessions. This conference is virtual and live and will be held February 17th through March 17th, 2014. Let's get ready to build, integrate, and grow your business. Go to CharvetteGoesBig.com. That's spelled SharVette GoesBig.com. CharvetteGoesBig.com. Visit us today.
Spiritual Food for Thought, 31 inspirational quotes to jumpstart your day by Latanyha Boyd, consists of inspirational messages that offer daily words of empowerment, promote spiritual growth and development in the Lord Jesus Christ for your day-to-day living. Spiritual Food for Thought, 31 inspirational quotes to jumpstart your day. Available now on Kindle, ebook, and paperback. Log on to www.latyboyd.com.
This is Pat Lomax, and when I'm in need for some inspiration, I go online and I listen to Christian station Spiritual Food for Thought Radio. You should check it out.
Be engaged. Be empowered. Be inspired. With your girl, inspirational speaker, missionary Latanyha, on Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio.
And we are back. Again, I am super excited. Welcome to each and every one of you. This is our segment of The Power of the Pen, our author spotlight, where we're featuring none other than that literary lady, a.k.a. Yolanda M. Johnson Bryant. I want you guys to put your hands together and welcome my dear sister to the platform of Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio. Welcome, my dear sister.
Thank you for having me on the show. I'm very excited to be here.
We are excited to have you here. You know, I just skimmed the surface of what you do. I mentioned to the listening audience that you wear many hats, and so I just skimmed the surface. Why don't you tell the listening audience about that literary lady and how your journey started in that literary world?
Well, I will say right now, you did point out a few things that I do. I'm an editor. I'm an author. I'm a marketer. I'm a brander. I'm also a life Toastmaster. I'm a Division E governor in the state of North Carolina. So I do public speaking. But how I got my start was, and please don't laugh at me, Latanyha. I used to actually write for I belonged to a girl band, per se, in high school called the Purple Passionates. And I used to write music and poetry for the group. So I've always been a writer, and English was always my favorite subject. But how I really broke into writing was when I was going to college, I was looking for some scholarship money. And I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with fastweb.com, but they were having a contest in conjunction with Playboy magazine. And the first prize was like $1,500 or something like that to write a short story. And yes, in my heathen days, I wrote an erotic short story for Playboy, and I won first prize. And after that, I started writing more, and I went through a divorce at that time, and I started writing books. Started writing manuscripts about what I was going through before the marriage had ended. And out of that one manuscript came 5, and I never published any of those manuscripts at the time because, as we all know, anything that you publish and make money on before you get a divorce is subject to division. So I just kind of waited until after the divorce was final, and I never did publish the original book, and I probably won't because my ex-husband asked me. He said, I just thought your first book would be about me, so we don't want to burst his bubble there. And so I published one of the other books called My Daughter. The initial book was called My Daughter's Keeper, and it is currently titled Circumstances. And the reason why I changed the title was I went through my first experience with self-publishing because I had sent 3 letters out to publishers, one sent me a denial letter. One didn't even respond. And another one told me to find another line of work. And so I started hearing a lot about self-publishing and thought, okay, I'm going to get this book published. If no one reads it, I'm going to still get it published. And I went through a college friend who had his own publishing company at the time and published My Daughter's Keeper. But I found out, and this is why I teach people to publish under your own business name, your own DBA, LLC, or whatever, but it was under his publishing company. So he was doing things that I didn't know he was doing, and then I found a website where he was selling my book, but I was not seeing any of the profits of the book. So I bought my own ISBN numbers and republished the book and did a little tweaking to it and republished it under Circumstances, and I've been going ever since.
Wow. Okay, so we got a little history and a little background. I love it. Turn the pages and get to know the author on another level. So you say you republished the book, tweaked it a little bit, and tell us, how did that work out for you?
It worked out pretty good. I got a lot of feedback. I got a lot of support for it, and I know a group of great ladies. They belong to Ross Sisters Literary Group. I'm sure you've heard of them. That's headed up by T.C. Royal. And every year they would have a conference in Atlanta. And I finally decided to go through one. And I met a lot of ladies, and I got a lot of positive responses from that book. And then I started getting a lot of responses from all over the United States. So it did pretty well.
Awesome. Okay, so now the journey has begun. Now that book is under your belt, and it just spiraled after that.
It just spiraled. Yes. I just love writing, and I just kept writing. I went on. Actually, I started helping other people publish their books, and there was a lag between my first book and my second book because I was so busy helping other people self-publish their book and teaching them how to do it that I kind of let my things go to the wayside. But I finally, in 2012, came out with the third book in that trilogy. Circumstances was the first book, and Revelations was the second book. That came out in 2012. And I have to tell you, LaTanyha, I had no intentions of doing a third book. It wasn't called a trilogy until last year because people read the ending. Each book at the ending, the first and second one, will have you with your mouth open wondering if there's more. But I've got so much responses back from Revelations, and they're like, you cannot end that like that. You have to come out with one more book. So I decided to come out with the third and final book in that particular trilogy, and it's going to be called Restoration, and that comes out sometime in 2015.
Ooh. Okay. So everyone I know, they're on the edge of their seats. 2015. Okay, well, you got to keep us posted and abreast of that. I know you have something coming up this year. 37, 30. Yes, please share.
I actually have 4 books coming out this year, and 3737 Grimm is going to actually be the third book that's going to come out this year, which is coming out this summer. What I have coming out first, I'm working on a series of books called That Literary Lady Knows, which is similar to the Dummies books, and I'll do a topic on each one. The one that's coming out hopefully here in the next couple of weeks is called That Literary Lady Knows Branding, and they're just small books that help people, give people tips on branding and how to get your brand out there, and I'll touch on self-publishing, which will probably be the bigger book, and public speaking and things like that. And then I have another book coming out called Crazies, and I have to tell you, the Crazies is based on my neighbors. My neighbors do some crazy things, and they actually have me sitting in the window watching, and I'm like, you know what? You can't make stuff up, so I'm going to write a book about them and throw some drama and some other stuff in there. So, but it's called The Crazies. They do some crazy things. The main character is a preacher, but they do some unsavory things. There's a lot of things going on in that house that people don't know about.
The crazy.
So the crazy's right. And then that's going to come out, I believe, before 3737 Graham Avenue, but don't hold me to it, because I'm also working on a nonfiction book that I'm trying to get out by the end of March, the beginning of April, called Accepting Baby Mama Discounts, Expecting Wifey Benefits, and that's a nonfiction title about it's tailored to women, but especially young women who have live-in boyfriends. These men were like this when you got with them. All of a sudden, you want to change them into husband material. Or men who have told you they're not going to do this and not going to do that, but you think that you can change them by trapping them with a baby. All too often, we have these girls who let these men around their kids, their single mothers, and their children begin to become a victim of the boyfriend's violence, whatever the case. And I speak on that on a personal case because my grandson was recently murdered by my daughter's boyfriend. So this is really going to touch me, and it's kind of hard writing it, but I'm hoping to have it out by the beginning of April or the end of March. But it's just about, if you want a husband, you have to ask God for a husband, you have to wait for a husband, and you have to act accordingly. You can't play house while waiting for a husband, because if you're playing house with one man, that other man's going to pass you by. So that's what I'm working on right now.
Wow, my sister. Wow. That's heavy right there. That's heavy. And oh my goodness, I just don't have any words for that. But the last title, oh my goodness, sister. Well, I'm sure it's going to be a blessing to many in reading that. And you said it is close to home, and my condolences to you and the family.
Thank you.
In the process of you're doing a lot of writing. You like you said, you wear many hats. How do you balance all of that?
I'm going to tell you the truth. I just learned how to start balancing. I start saying no because I love helping people, and I try to help everybody. And I realize you can't help everybody. You have to pick and choose wisely who you help. So I started saying no. I stopped answering my phone every time it rang. I stopped answering email. You see me. My husband will tell you that I used to be in bed at 3 o'clock in the morning with my phone right by me, and as soon as it goes bleep, I'm waking up and responding to it. And now I turn my phone off. So you might say, I sent you an email. Did you get it? Nope, my phone wasn't on. I wasn't near my computer. So I'm finding it now because it has caused a few health issues. So, ladies, you got to slow down and take time for yourself, and I'm starting to do that. And, of course, my husband is making sure I do that as well. So it's just the main thing is saying no. So.
Well, that's good advice. The main thing is saying no and pick and choose, who you like to help, and just pick and choose during the course of your day in life. That's good advice. I want to talk about your company and the importance of branding and marketing. If we can give some tips to our listening audience of the aspiring authors and authors who are out there, what tips can you share with them in regards to how important is it to market your book and then position yourself in branding?
Well, I'll say this. A lot of people will write a book and they'll think that's all there is to it. They think, well, you got the Victoria Christopher Murrays, the John Pattersons, and their books sell like hotcakes. But they don't realize those are traditional publishing authors, and they have people on their team who market their books. So if you think you are going to publish a book and not do nothing and expect it to sell, it's not going to happen. You especially, and I speak solely on self-publishing because that's what I help people do, self-publish. If you're going to self-publish, you have to be willing to put in the work. You have to work hard. There are times that I work 24 hours straight. Not saying that you have to. That's just how passionate I am about this particular industry. But you have to put in the work. Now, as far as branding, you have to put something out there that someone will remember. If you throw your book title out there every now and then on Facebook, just so you know, Facebook is becoming is becoming not the number one social media platform anymore. People are going elsewhere, especially children ages 18 to, let's say, 35 years old. So you got to do more than that. You have to be consistent, And when I say consistent, I don't mean in your face. There are people that all they do is post about themselves. It's every 2 seconds, and it becomes boring and irritating. But you have to be consistent. Post not just on Facebook. Do press releases, but create a brand, something that's memorable. For instance, I have a caricature that looks like me. Plus, I do a lot of marketing on all platforms of social media, or most of them, not all of them, and also keep up my website. You have to be consistent. And let's say you have a website. You can't just throw a website and expect people to come, especially one, if they do come and it's not updated, they'll leave your page and not come back. You can't have a website and not update the website. Make sure you keep your website updated. Make sure you create a brand, a unique logo, or a unique name. People always ask me how I got my name. I got my name somewhere in the early 2000s. I was living in Dallas, and I was at an airport, and I saw somebody, and they said, "Hey, aren't you that literary lady?" Because they couldn't remember my name. And that name, that literary lady, just kind of stuck with me. So I've used that ever since. So you got to do something that's going to stick in people's head. They may not remember your name because, come on, let's face it, a lot of us have some names that I don't think our parents could pronounce when they named us. So, but they'll remember a face, or they'll associate something with your brand. So just be consistent. And I always tell people, use social media as much as you can because it's free. We'll sit online, try to find our ex-lovers from high school, or start some drama, or post all our business, when we could be using that to brand ourselves, to talk about our work. Now, with talking about ourselves, it will not work if you're not helping other people. That goes hand in hand. You have to help other people. So post somebody else's information that's in the same genre or in the industry that you like. Post some information about them, or post their article or about their book while you're posting your stuff. Because if you're just constantly just talking about yourself, people don't want to hear that.
Totally agree with you on that. And I like what you said, to be consistent. I want to open up the phone lines. Area code 602-753-1683. We want to invite you to join us here on Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio. If you have a question or a comment, all you have to do is hit the number 1, and we'll go ahead and invite you in. Now, Ms. Sister, I know you mentioned 3737. Just give us a little tease. What did you say that would be about, and when did you expect to release that?
Okay, my birthday is June the 11th. That's when I'm expecting to release that book on. And it's the second book in the Tommy Lane Christian, I call it Christian fiction thriller series. But it is taking off where 27 Flagship Cove left off. It's about a detective, Tommy Lane. She is a detective with the Greensboro Police Department, and she solves crimes, basically. And the last crime she solved was a doozy. I won't give that away, but I will say that it was part of it was an inside job. But after she has caught the killer and she has prosecuted some people, she and her girlfriends are in the desperate need of a girlfriend's weekend, which they take all the time. And she has girlfriends in San Diego, Florida, Dallas, Denver, and Greensboro. And so this time they meet up in San Diego in Coronado Bay. And a newcomer comes on the scene, and she takes likeness to Tommy real fast because she finds out that Tommy is in Greensboro, and a guy that she happens to be dating online also lives in Greensboro, and she's been debating whether she wants to leave San Diego and move to Greensboro to be with this guy. But, of course, Tommy, being the detective that she is, starts to investigate this guy because this girl is not being reasonable about meeting this guy online, who she's never met in person before, but they've had a phone conversation for months, and they've Skyped and things like that. But Tommy starts to unveil some things, and she finds out things about this guy. This guy, by the way, is a gigolo. He has women in every port just about in the United States. But what they uncover, nobody saw coming. So I'm excited about this one.
Okay, so we are all on the edge of our seats. So we have to wait until June.
June the 11th.
Gee, June 11th on the birthday. My sister, please give our listening audience the website, how they could get connected with you. Let them know where you're on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Let them know how we can connect with you.
My website is YolandaMJohnsonBryant.com. You can reach me on Facebook by putting in author Yolanda M. Johnson Bryant, or just Yolanda. Go into search Yolanda M. Johnson Bryant. I'm on Twitter at YMJAuthor or THT Literary Lady. I'm also under Google+, Yolanda Johnson Bryant, also on LinkedIn. But if you don't remember any of that, just go to Google and type in Yolanda M. Johnson Bryant or that Literary Lady, and you'll be able to find me just about anywhere.
Awesome. Now, my sister, I ask all my guests who come to dine and sit with us, what spiritual food for thought would you like to leave the listening audience with on today?
One of my favorite scriptures is, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper." And that came to me at a young age, but it really came into play when I wrote my first book. I had a publicist at the time, and the words that she said to me really stung me, and this is when that scripture came into play. She didn't like how I was handling things, and I didn't like how she was handling things. And she told me that she would make sure I would not sell one book, or that I wouldn't sell any books. And I told her that if I sold one book, it would help somebody. Then that I've done my job, and I've actually obviously sold more than one book. And I've actually had people write me and say that they thought they were the only person going through what the character was going through in the book, and thank me for the book. And I've kind of realized that no matter who comes up against you, if God says it is, it is. No matter what they do, no matter what it seems like, you have to have faith, because no weapon formed against you shall prosper.
Now, that's a tweetable right there, my sisters and brothers. Well, no matter what, if God said it, then it shall come to pass. Excellent.
That's true.
Excellent. Well, it has been a sheer pleasure and a delight. And as you know, I've been following you, and I look up to you. It's a silent mentor. Can I say that? Can I say it? Okay, I said it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I say it? I said
yes,
it.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
You've been admiring you and what you've been doing in the literary world and off-site and on-site. I know you're a Toastmaster speaker and president there, and so I just want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to stop by Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio. And I want to thank you. I was on your show not too long ago of that literary lady, and I tell you, I nearly fell out my chair when I received the invite. I was like, oh, my goodness, my secret mentor. I'm on her show. Oh, my goodness. I'm super excited. So thank you so much for stopping by and empowering our listeners on today.
Thank you for having me on the show. I really, really appreciate it, and it's been an honor.
Well, my sister, I want you to stay encouraged and continue to do what you're doing to impact the world globally. We love you here. We want you to come on back.
Thank you.
Well, my sisters and brothers, that was Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio, our segment of the Author Spotlight with that literary lady and the power of the pen. And she is doing it up big in the literary world, and so we thank her for being here. I want you guys to stay tuned. Log on to our website at www.latboyd.com. That way you can keep abreast of what is happening. Tomorrow's show, and I'm super excited about tomorrow's show as well, we're going to have none other than Lennis Woods Mullins will be stopping by to dine with us on tomorrow. So you don't want to miss tomorrow's show. It's at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That channel, if I can say that, the same spiritual channel, how about that? Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio, favorite Christian station. Log on to our fan page on Facebook of Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter under Spiritual Food RA. This is your girl, your auntie, your sister, your friend. Until next time, we bid you love and Godspeed.
Spiritual food for thought, get the word into your heart. Take advantage of this time. Spiritual food from your mind. Spiritual food, oh, for thought, get the word into your heart. Take advantage of this time. Spiritual food for your mind. Spiritual food for thought. Spiritual food.